Hey guys, happy Friday.
Good evening, everyone.
Hope everybody's doing well. We're doing well here. Hoping to see some weather change for the best. It's been kind of sucko.
I could live in a rainforest.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Not sure if anybody's been on my page lately, but I posted a video on there, I guess maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, a little something about alcohol.
It was a wealth of information. And
Yes.
things I never heard of before. I learned a couple things off it, as I think most of you as well.
I have not yet seen it, but Pappy has. I've been a busy little girl. So, I know Pappy wants to talk about that a little bit.
I just wanted to add a little something to the evening.
So,
I'm good to go on anything, whatever
Yes.
topic.
but, just waiting to see how many people pop in here real quick.
I know my buddy Larry's out there with bells on. Hello, Larry.
Larry's always out there. And when he's not, he's thinking about us when he's not. Sorry,
I heard he brings all the neighbors in and gives them seltzers. They all sit and watch with him.
If anybody is out there and they are struggling, please feel free to give us a call in at the call-in line, 267-737-8031. Or
Ooh, my.
you can text me on that particular number, and I am here, and I'm listening, and we'll answer any questions you might have.
Come on, everybody. I'm going to go up and get a water. I'm warning everybody. I'm wearing short pants tonight. My European cut shorts. So. That's our engineer here, folks.
Do some changes while you're broke. It's doing
Our
that
behind the
robot-
scenes guys doing some changes
Yes,
to our audio.
It's doing that robot thing again. I don't know.
Oh, so I hope you can hear us.
You can hear us. It
Oh,
sounds
okay.
weird. Keep going.
Awesome.
BYOB, I'm here.
And I'm cheap. If anybody is out there and needs to talk or needs to just share something with us, please feel free to do so. We're here and we are willing to share our experience, strength, and hopes with you. I hope that you're willing to share yours. You never know who needs to hear something that you have to say or want to share.
Isn't he handsome? He's the fruit of my loins. Right?
Yes. But I was talking to my stepfather and my mom the other day, and he wanted to share. He wanted me to share because they can't type because they watch on their TV. So he wanted to ask out there, does anybody have anything to share about something that was prolific that they had received from their sponsor? Anything that really touched them and helped them to really get to the point of recovery and help them through the beginning stages of their recovery. So I wanted to throw that out there. He said it would be something that would really interest him to also hear. He is somebody that is in recovery. He didn't share, but my mother shared some of his information, his story with us. And
All right, 1 second. We'll be right back.
okay,
Hold tight. Just say just hold tight.
hold tight, guys. We'll be right back.
I'll be right back. Just a minor readjustment.
Hey guys, we're back. I hope yous are still here. I hope Hey, Larry, are you here? Let me know. Give me a holler. Give me a shout out if you are back.
Probably went out to the kitchen to make a bologna and cheese.
Right, I'm telling you.
Yo.
I hope everybody is doing well. Let's see. Still not hearing from Larry. Let me give him a text. Let him know that we're back. Let's see.
Might not be
But
able,
anyway,
might not be able to get a text. He might be on YouTube.
we are just sitting back, checking out, oh, Larry's back in the house.
Should we be new and improved now?
We're good now. We were having some technical issues that have been, well, and my girl is still here. Like to see that checking in. But yeah, he, just so you know, we did discuss, the video that Pappy watched the other day. It's a, woman from, was it Harvard?
Yeah, she's a doctor from Harvard, like medical school and all. She's an expert in addictions and such. And she was on some other woman's show, and I mean, Dr. Susan Wakeman is her name. Yeah, you'll see the video on Lori's pages. She really had some really interesting stats on alcohol. A lot of things I'd never heard of. I mean, there's a couple numbers I say. High risk drinking. That's like 10 ounces of hard alcohol per week, or 35 ounces of wine per week. Anything more than that is considered high risk drinking. That's how you figure it out. So if you have them drinks, there's probably 2 ounces of alcohol in them. That's like 5 drinks a week. 5 stiff ones. That's high risk drinking. I never realized it was like that. And the more you watch this video and hear all these statistics, it makes you wonder why we even drink alcohol. Because it's like a poison to the body, and the body has to struggle to break it down and synthesize it and dispose of it. It's probably something that was really never meant to be drank by humans. I don't know. But, everything within reason. But it was just some really interesting things that were in here. They say that all the things we do whenever we go to the doctor, we always, this is for the people that aren't in addiction, we always tend to underestimate how much we drink when a doctor asks us. We all do that. And, I just 1 or 2 beers, it's like 10 or 20. Yeah.
I'm a social drinker.
Yeah, that's like, I drink to get social. But that's like everybody lies to their doctor. They're talking about alcohol. It's a water-based molecule that's really absorbed in our body through our stomach and our small intestine. It's like it affects the body's sleep, mood, and it affects our whole body system, how everything
Hey,
works.
Barb. Hey, Liz.
It's amazing all the things the alcohol does to the body, but just really watch the video to get more about it. I just wrote down some of the stats. It has a high propensity for cancer that alcohol causes. I never knew that, especially in women, especially with breast cancer, because the alcohol affects the hormones produced by the body and all, and it causes a higher risk and propensity for breast cancer. Never heard that statistic before. And other cancers for men and women. Mm-hmm. It just affects the whole body, how it operates. And one of the other things that was scary, it says, after prolonged drinking, it causes our small intestine to become more porous, which allows more stuff to leak through it that's never supposed to leak through it, and it gets into our bloodstream and into our brain, like all the chemicals and byproducts from breaking things down. Far besides just alcohol, like everyday stuff that you're really supposed to pass through, and the more you read it, it's like, wow, why do we even drink? It's it's so bad for us. It really is. Even in moderation, it's not great for you. But, like in excess, it's really bad for us. It takes its toll on the whole body. The body, the brain. And there's some interesting facts. She explains it in more detail and makes it all more plausible, even more interesting than I could ever do it. And another thing, how much, we urinate when we're drinking, not to get too graphic, but, I always thought it's because of all the liquid that we're, imbibing on. It's not. What it does, it affects the kidneys, and a hormone that the kidney reacts to, it makes us pass more urine, more than we should, which in turn causes the dehydration, which in turn causes hangover. Never knew that. I always heard about the dehydration part, but I never knew why. I thought maybe the alcohol was absorbing up the other liquids in the body, because I know alcohol absorbs water. But that's not the case. But never heard that statistic either. So I strongly really recommend anybody watching that video, go on the Living Hopeful page and you'll see it posted on there. Click on it. It's a YouTube video. It's really interesting. What do you got? You got anything coming up there, Laura?
Well, tonight I'm hoping that the bingo for Never Surrender Hope, I hope that they do well with their fundraiser, hoping that they get enough to help a lot of families. It's so important that we come together and help those that are trying their best to help the people that are out there, because right now it is a struggle with the people on the street that just don't seem to be ready. They don't feel like they want to after they want to get better. It's that it's just a struggle for them, knowing the pain of that recovery, the detox. It's rough for them, and it's, if there was just something we could do to get them through that, and that's what the outreach do. They're out there, they're trying their best to friend them on the street so that they can talk with them each time that they go out, to try and push them towards recovery, and doing it in baby steps, because it's, you don't want to scare them away from it. But a lot of the people out there, it's mothers, it's fathers, it's siblings that are out there that are talking to them and hoping that they can get the help that they need. And they just had the big cleanup of Kensington again, and they said that they had gotten 70 people into treatment, and I myself find that hard to believe. But on the other hand, if they do, I pray that they take this time to really take the tools that they're going to be given in this time to find a long-term recovery process. Unfortunately, most of them, they are showing that they have moved to the side streets of Kensington.
Yeah, they love to inflate numbers. I mean, the government. I mean, they what they call in the treatment. Would you get them into a shelter for the night?
Right.
That's not treatment. It's just you got them some temporary shelter, but they like to really spin everything and embellish them, so to make them sound like they're more than they really are.
Right.
Helping them. Another thing that was frightening. They said since the pandemic, there's been a 20% increase in alcohol-related deaths. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's like, from a medical standpoint, death. I don't think that's car accidents or anything. I mean, that's just, just from just drinking too much alcohol and it causing organ failure, this and that. And like she was saying about cirrhosis of the liver, we always equated that with people with decades of alcohol abuse. I mean, that's a condition that they inherit, from years and years. And she said, it's not really the case. She said she gets like people in their late 20s, early 30s with cirrhosis of the liver. I mean, wow. That's insane. It's insane.
It is. It's
and like so many more people turning to drinking, especially since the pandemic. It's it's legal. It's easy to obtain. I mean, people are all the time on their hands. People are worried. They're in their own heads, sitting home, and so many more people started picking up and drinking more and more and more. And it's just so many fascinating things. There one of the fallacies of years ago to say a glass of red wine a day is good for you. It's really not. And it's funny, like the people that they use in these studies to conduct these studies aren't drinkers really. So like, here, take this glass of red wine and say, hey, man, then they probably go out for a bike ride afterwards and they're all healthy and live because they're not chronic drinkers. And so they're changing that now in these studies and these that they're performing, or they're studying more case studies on people with actual alcohol problems, problem drinkers. It's just amazing how skewed the statistics are on things. I mean, the government and their studies, it's like, I don't know, God, you can't trust the results on anything anymore. Everything is just so off.
It is. It's and again, we always say, alcohol's easy because it is, it's legal. So it's so much easier for them to get into that trap of, it being easy. And, marijuana is the next thing, it's becoming recreational across the United States. And, it's, again, they're going to strike it up as it's legal. And for those that struggle with addiction, it's going to take a grasp on you and not let you go. And it's hard for people to understand that. And it's hard for people to look at that as, an issue. There's so many people out there judging because of that. And, it's, you just have to really do what you can to find the right program for you and help you get through that. Barb says, I can't get my old med because I told my doctor the truth, which is a good thing because, that's the problem. A lot of people are mixing alcohol with prescriptions.
And that all comes up in that video too, where so many people are on antidepressants and stuff, and alcohol itself is a depressant. And they're very counterintuitive taken together. That's all touched on in that video. People just don't realize. Right.
Yeah, you take an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication, which both are depressants that, they try to take that depressant away. And then on top of it, you're putting a depressant, pushing it away. Like you're defeating the purpose of the medication. It's not going to help you. It's going to harm you because now you have a battle against a medication and the alcohol. And
but they did say a lot of the alcohol-related issues and problems with the body are reversible if you stop drinking. I mean, in the early stages, like before cirrhosis, you end up with what's called a fatty liver. And the fatty liver, leads to scarring on the liver, which the scarring in turn what makes it less elastic. All right, don't sound right. It doesn't stretch as much.
Right.
I can say elastic, but I can't get that elastic.
Elasticity.
Yeah, and which it leads to the cirrhosis, and then the cirrhosis is not reversible. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's plenty of warning signs before we get to that stage, and we just gotta recognize them and address them.
Yes.
Right. That's just some of the facts. I mean, and there's so many more. It's just a great video. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love that kind of information, you know, about addictions, because it makes things make more sense to me in those type of terms. I mean, they're actually explaining why things happen and this and that, and I just find it fascinating. The whole realm of recovery and addiction, it's such a science. People just don't realize, I mean, why we do the things we do. And some of them don't know why. It's just we just do them. We're driven to that point.
Yep.
We don't know why. We just know we have to do it. It has
Right.
to be done. And it's just amazing how, you know, drugs and alcohol hijack our brain to the point we consciously don't even realize it. Subconsciously, we're like taking over, man. It's like AI. Like if I hear AI one more time this week, I must have heard AI like 50,000 times this week
It's
on
the new catchword.
on my radio. Oh my God,
Yes.
everything's AI. Artificial intelligence. It's a new catchphrase.
Yes.
But it's just, you know, anybody struggling out there, you know, and a lot of us don't. We just don't understand why we're doing these things. We know it's wrong. We know the outcome's going to be, but yeah, we keep doing them. And what's that? That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Right.
And that's what addiction is. It's like an insanity. We're just not thinking. And with our proper perspective to
clear
things,
mind.
it just our minds are hijacked.
And right, Barb, it's acceptable because it's legal. However, you know, some people just aren't even aware when someone is drinking and they're being assholes that it's because they have drank so much that it's causing you to, you know, continuously drink, and you may not be aware of it. For some people, you may not see it all the time because you may not be around that person a lot. You may only be around that person during certain situations, and then, you know, oh, he's drinking a lot again. You don't realize that in the house they're drinking like that every day.
Right.
And
And it's amazing at what points we can get to. I mean, and the different stages. We had someone at our meeting this week, or a loved one, that's suffering from psychotic episodes from drinking, hearing voices. I mean, like ready for the tinfoil hat. You know, people are following them, this and that. I mean, it's frightening stuff. I mean,
it is.
and you can't do nothing for them. I mean, it's hard to get people 302 to get them some clarity. It's getting harder and harder to do. And you know, all these crisis centers. I mean, they don't want to take them because it's not in their wheelhouse. They want to say it's not an alcohol problem. It's more a psychological problem, or vice versa. It's like you're constantly struggling, trying to place these people to get the help they need. And you know, so many of these places are like afraid to address it. They because, you know, like, as we always say, there's just so much addiction is dual diagnosed. I mean, so many people suffering with addictions are dual, or what they call dual diagnosed. They have a mental issue and a substance issue. You know, one, you know, fostering the other one. I mean, they go hand in hand, and you can't treat one without treating the other simultaneously. And so many people, I mean, with an underlying psychological issue, schizophrenia, you know, clinical depression, so they know they have a problem, but they stop taking their meds because they don't like the side effects from their meds. So they try to self-medicate with other things, whether it be drugs and alcohol, and it just causes everything to spiral out of control because the underlying issue isn't being treated. You know, and we tend to become, you know, our own doctor. You know, we're going to work our own protocol, our own program, and We don't know how that works out. It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. And you are right, Barb. The fact that it is legal is something that can cause a trigger. And especially the longer you go without putting that substance in your body. You know, maybe it's a 10-year anniversary. Like, well, it's been 10 years. Here we go. I think, you know, I'm good now. I think I can handle, you know, doing, you know, a shot, having a beer, sipping some champagne. You know, these are all things that, especially with alcohol, because it is legal, it is everywhere, it's always, you know, in your face. You go to restaurants, you go to diners, you go to, you know, weddings, you go to all these different places, and
no one is safe from it.
no.
And we just had someone come to us address someone who's been sober for many, many, many years. Someone who's very involved in the recovery world. A person, you know, was a trained individual who counsels and helps other people, or, you know, a member of a big organization, who just recently had a slip up, and it was embarrassing. And I haven't talked to the person, but they just decided to have a couple glasses of wine at a function, and it quickly spiraled out of control and created an embarrassing situation. I mean, I feel really sorry for them. I mean, it sheds a bad light on them, but not the people that are in addiction, because it's something that happens. I mean, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just
No.
something that happens, and we got to be vigilant, and
Right. And
we can't take it for granted that we're healed one
Right.
day. You know, we're not healed. It's a disease that you can live a fruitful, complete life, but you just have to follow protocol and abstain from any, you know, mind-altering substances. I mean, and then, like I said before, it's like a diabetic can live a full life as long as you take your insulin and you watch your diet. You live a full life, full normal life. You know, it's just, you know, you just got to adhere to the protocols put in place. I mean, you're never not going to be a diabetic. You know, once you're diagnosed with diabetes, I mean, it's pretty much something you keep with you for the rest of your life. I mean, you know, unless it's a borderline thing and you lose a ton of weight, and there's always exceptions to the rule. So.
And the biggest question, especially with somebody that is struggling with an alcohol addiction, well, do you think I'll ever be able to drink again?
Well, that's where Fred's line, our good friend Fred said, you know, once you become a pickle, you can't go back to being a cucumber. You're always going to be a pickle.
Right. And
I love that.
yeah. And
it's so simple, but it's effective.
Right.
I mean.
And it's and how do you tell, like, you have to be honest with, like, no, you know.
And it's you know, yeah, I can watch every time I say it. I'm going to say it's a tough pill to swallow, and that's just a bad analogy. It's just something really hard to come to grips with. Is like never.
Never.
I feel like it's like a terminal disease or something. You're talking those parameters, like, well, it kind of is.
Right.
But there's worse things that could happen. And then, you know, once you treat that disease, you know, you feel better, you look better, things start falling into place, you're living better. You know, there's all kinds of positives that come out of that you know, that small sacrifice.
And I just went through this again with, you know, working out in the yard. We had a really nice day last week, and just working out in the yard, and I was out all day, and it was, man, I could really, I just sat down and I looked at what I did and was like proud of myself. Like, boy, I could really go for a cigarette right now. Like, and like this is how bad your brain, holds on to
I
stuff.
smoked twice as much as you did, and I never get that feeling.
Oh my, it's terrible. It's terrible. I
never
mean,
do.
like, really wanting it bad. And, this is what happens. Your brain, always remembers
And I was
things.
such a chronic smoker, man. That's like such a big accomplishment for me quitting smoking. I'm so proud of myself over that because I never thought I could quit. I mean, I was such a warped sense of thing. I still wonder why people didn't smoke. They don't know what they're missing. They don't know how much enjoyment you get out of these cigarettes. It's like you think you get it because you're addicted to the nicotine. Mm-hmm. But
And I just heard somebody the other day, they had quit smoking and they were like, I don't want to pick up because I know that if I pick up a cigarette, I'll go right back to, smoking. And
that's me.
and it's,
I haven't even taken a puff.
I miss it because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed smoking. Did you really?
Yeah, you think you do. Mm-hmm. You really do. I mean, I find them obnoxious now. Matter of fact, I have a gig to do tomorrow. I'm a DJ for anybody who doesn't know on the slides. And I got a monthly gig at a neighborhood tappy. It's a ladies' afternoon special thing once a month to try. And this bar allows smoking because they serve food and this and that, some loophole. And oh my God, it kills me. Oh, that smoke. And these people are smokers too. They're like a cigarette with a cigarette. And they got those machines, the smoke eater machines, but they don't eat enough smoke for me. I come home, I stink so bad. Oh my God. I can't believe I took the gig. I mean, the only reason I did because the owners are a friend of mine and they're trying to build business up in there. And I did not want this gig. I did. I mean, they offered me like 8 months ago. I thought, let me get back to you after things settle down, the holidays, and I'm like, they started to get in touch with me out of it. I said okay, and I did it last month and it went over really well. They had a really good turnout. They even asked me to stay 2 more hours. It was a very long day for me.
And they won't be asking this week because they have a function afterwards.
Okay.
So you're good. You're only there till 5.
Cool. Yeah, it's afternoon, 1 to 5.
Right.
And people are smoking like a chimney.
Yeah. But I was amazed because I went and it wasn't as bad as, it could have been because doors were open and vents were on. And so I was happy. So I'm hoping it'll be a nice...
It was like in the winter.
I'm hoping for a nice weather day tomorrow so the doors are open. And I hope I can dance because I'll tell you, this weather's taking a grip on my body. It is not good. And this is another thing. Look at what we're dealing with. I don't know about anybody else where you are located, but oh my gosh, when was the last time we saw sun? It's horrible. The weather has been horrible, and the depression is, taking a
Beatles song.
gripping on people because there's no sun. It's just been clouds. It's been drizzle. It's been rain. It's been just clouds, and there's nothing worse than just sitting there and just being in that dark cloud. You can't get outside. You can't do things. It's almost like you're being put into isolation again because the only
What should I do? What should I do? Go to buffet. And I'm happy again. We
But
did last weekend.
yeah, but people get bored. They pick up a drink. Can't do anything in the yard. I can't go to the carnival. I can't go to a flea market. I can't, go to the park. I can't have a picnic. Whatever. We can't barbecue. So what do? You go to the bar. You stay home and you open up that bottle. And, we need to find other hobbies, other things to,
Something to occupy our minds. I mean,
right. And think about the things that make you happy, because I'll tell you,
Take your grandchildren to the trampoline park. That's
Yes.
always exciting, and the time flies
Yes.
by as you're chasing around trying to keep track of two of them at the same time in this giant metropolis of trampolines.
or you take them to Burger King and they don't pay for
Yeah, you
this.
cut them loose in the playground. You sit there
Yeah.
drinking frozen Coke after frozen Coke.
Yeah. But it is. It's,
Great rainy day function.
and we've just come out of the winter blues, where it's all dark and ugly and gray and
And
miserable.
whatever it does, you just got to find a way to occupy your mind.
You do.
You can't just sit there and then start getting that stinking thinking. Mm-hmm. And you just got to occupy your mind. You got to find something. Call an old friend. Go to a movie.
Yeah.
Get out of the house.
You have to change your day, and there's nothing better than the kids running
Get the
around.
blood pump. I like to exercise when I get like that. And stop. I'm trying to paint a different
He
picture.
loves
I'm
to-
trying to paint a different picture of myself on the show here. Mm-hmm. I'll have a tofu shake. And
Yeah. But it is. You need to find other means to have a good day. My sponsor convinced me it was impossible to lie to myself, eliminating denial. There's our Eric. He's back in the house.
in the house.
How are you, Eric?
Yeah, it's tough to lie to yourself.
Very much so.
We try and we try to convince ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so
And then you go to the bathroom
Fruitless.
and there's the mirror. And you're looking right in it. You're telling on yourself. So that is true. Anybody else out there have anything that really was told to you in your early recovery that really sticks with you, stays with you, and helps you get through every single day, not having a drink or picking up a drug?
you do really do. They're very highly sensitive microphones. I can hear you chomping like a horse on your licorice. I'm just putting it out there.
Yes, Barb, it is very painful. This weather is killing me. But I'll try to get by.
Takes the fight out of you. I get up in the morning. I don't particularly love my job. And on mornings like that, I'm like, oh my God, I hate my job. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, can I ever retire? Will it ever be possible?
At 90. It's right around the corner, hon.
Talk about 90. A little real life experience the other day. I'm driving through town in my truck on a mega delivery. I see this old man with an electric lawnmower with a cord, first of all.
Oh my
With
God.
these like rubber boots almost up to his knees on. He's got to be in his early 80s. He's cutting his grass, cleaning his mowers. Man, look at that old guy. Look how ridiculous he looks. I'm thinking to myself, well, he's probably about 83. I'm going to be 63. That's going to be me in 20 years. It's like right around the corner, man. That's me. I'm going to be the old man with the rubber boots and the electric mower. It ruined my day. It ruined my day. And I told the guy my next stop, I talked to him all the time. He was cracking up. So I had the truth. It's like driving in a car, you hear a great song on the radio, you realize you're listening to the oldies channel. You're like, holy shit, that's not an oldie. The 50s and 60s, that's the oldies. Hell, I danced to that song at my prom, I think. Like, yeah, it's an oldie.
Yep.
It's an oldie.
Everything's getting old.
Oh, real life experience, You're able to relate to everybody on Facebook with these stories. Hey, remember when Tasty Cakes, had the wax paper cover? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I remember all that. Mm-hmm. Damn, I'm old.
Yep. It's.
Don't let this boyish figure fool you. I'm an old man.
Ooh,
Oh,
we
somebody's
have
saving
a
the day. We got a
caller.
caller. Bum, 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 bum. We have a caller. Hello, caller. How can we help you on this fine evening?
Hello, I have a suggestion. If you're going to wear rubber boots, don't wear the white Ron DeSantis boots because they'll look horrible.
Ron DeSantis.
You don't want to look like that. I just called. I had a couple things that I want. You're talking about a sponsor. What profound things he did for me. Well, actually, he didn't do anything really profound. It was like a long-term thing. But the biggest thing was he got me to think for myself. He got me to make decisions. I choose which way to go in my recovery. And, he let me question things. He let me do, not so much my way, but he made me a thinking person, which was I didn't do. I would just react with everything, even when it came down to drinking. Get angry, drink. Get happy, drink. Anything. Just, it would always be drink, drink, drink. And, and when we sit down and have our sessions, because I was very fortunate, he worked at the same place I did. So I got to sit down for 20 minutes, a half hour every day and just talk. And, if something would come up, I would question about it, and he would pretty much, give me his feelings, but he wouldn't browbeat me. He wouldn't let me go. He wouldn't tell me what to do or what I should do and what's right for me. Because in the end, I'm the only one who's going to find out what's right for me. As long as I stick with the program. And that's what he got me to do, stick with the program. Things go up, things go down. But, as long as I stay, true to myself, like you said, Lori, look in the mirror, can't fool yourself. Look in those eyes and see, what's really happening in your life, how you really are. You have to be. Well, I had to be truthful with myself. I mean, really truthful, not BSing myself.
Right.
Like that brain. We've talked about that before too. It knows that you can't fool it. Just like substituting weed for liquor. When liquor was the problem, and things like that. But the best thing was like I got to think it out my way. Which is why I'm pretty hard-headed about my recovery and the way I think I would like it, how I like it. Even though, everybody has their own way, the way of doing things and their own route to recovery, but they're all different roads going to the same place. Going to sobriety, going to rearrange your life. And, it's funny, I had an incident today. This month I chaired a meeting on Friday. And it's a traditional meeting, but like I said, it's pretty decent. It's not overly God beating. And we talked. Was this book? One of the books is As Bill Sees It. It has little stories, little sayings in there, and what and I got to pick out a couple stories, and one was like, how do we get to recovery, and how some people don't want to go one way, and instead of being open about finding another route, they just kind of leave it. It was like one prime example is the problem I had today was, the one person I had there, he found, God is his thing, and that's all well and good. And this story I picked out was like, well, there are different routes to get there. Some people hear the God thing and they don't, it turns them off. And instead of finding another route, like with psychiatry or with meds or, somebody to help you, to advise you, like finding a sponsor, stuff like that, they completely turn it off. And, they were like, and, we all went through, it was like cannabis. And we explained, how our roots are. And like some people got involved, some were God, some were not so much, and some the higher power thing. And this guy, he's been coming here for years. He's like one of the early birds. He's one of the, him and I are like the first two in there. He got up and walked out. And I was like totally baffled by that. And it was like, well, we know how you feel. And, just because, somebody has a different opinion, you don't have to get upset about it.
Right.
Some people are very passionate over that.
Yeah, very passionate is one thing. Very understanding is another, too.
Right.
It's like,
That's why
If
it's
you don't-
never good to bring up religion or politics in any forum. You know what I mean? Because some people feel very strongly to that point. It becomes a
yeah.
disaster.
But the point is, that was the story. It
Right.
was like, no matter what route they take, if they don't like that route, there are other ways to get there. But some people, they just, they hear one thing and it doesn't, they don't agree with it, and they forget about it. They move on, but they don't go to the next option.
Right.
And that was,
Right.
and for me, hey, whatever way you want to do it, that's fine. We're all here to get sober. We're all here to get a better life. But to walk out, it was like, it's very strange for me. I just never experienced that before.
Right.
So I'm sure Monday when he comes back, it's going to be just the two of us in a room, and he's going to say something. But I'm going to let it fly. I'm not going to get upset over it like I used to.
Right.
But it's just
Right.
took me by surprise today.
And Larry, like, you come to the family group meetings, and you've been coming for a very long time. So many parents, especially, but some spouses. My loved one doesn't want to go to meetings because of the God thing. So many people we hear this from. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you hear it a lot in all the meetings. And, that's the one thing that I struggle with, because I look at the family member and I think that's their excuse
I
to
think
go
it-
back out.
I think in many cases you're right on that. It's an easy cop out. Because have you always been like such an anti-God person before? Most cases, no. You're an exception, Larry. I know how you feel, and I still love it.
Yeah.
But so many
It's not
people. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No,
Go ahead.
so many people are just looking for that easy cop out, an excuse not to address it. You know what I mean? And that's like a real easy one for a lot of people to use in the beginning.
And an easy one to use to start their relapse,
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that I'm not a God hater. I mean, it's like, it's just the way I feel.
Right.
I have my doubts about it. I'm not an out and out atheist or, God hater or
Right.
just like the opposite side. I'm not on my knees every day quoting Bible quotes and all. It's just not like the way brought up in that religion that, it seemed like it's more oppressive than open and loving. Yeah, everything's loving if you obey their rules and do the things they want you to do, which didn't sit well with me at all.
And
I see the hypocritical end of it.
right.
Why this? If you teach this, and then you turn around and do this. Well, what are you talking about? But that's just the way it is. It's going to be that way. It's always going to be that way. But there's one other thing I want to mention. If you have HBO, there's a show last week tonight with John Oliver. Well, this past Sunday, they had a good show on the opioid settlement issues, where certain, there was like, what, a $50 billion, fine or whatever you want to call it, that the drug companies and the pharmacies had to pay, and it was distributed among different counties all around the country. And a lot of these counties aren't using it for the opioid crisis or for any kind of addiction.
Exactly.
It's all in there, like they're allocating the money to fix potholes. And there's one county to get another police dog, and another one to buy 2 SUVs for the police department. And it was, I was like
Right.
stunned to hear that new sirens, because the other ones are getting too old. It's like, how are you addressing the opioid crisis, the drug crisis, by buying a dog, fixing a pothole, and you bring more police, stuff in things to confront the addict and alcoholic, as opposed to helping the alcoholic and the addict. If you put more treatment centers, more, qualified advisors, I don't know what else word I could use, but to help these people, to get them counseling, to get them a place to stay. instead of buying a dog
Right.
or a $100,000 SUV.
Not enough
You know, it's
oversight.
absolutely insane.
And if they would just come and talk to me, I could tell them how to do it.
Yeah.
I
Very cool.
actually posted my response to all of that in a post today on a group that I am in. And they said, Lori, please reach out to Philadelphia. Please reach out to Bucks County. Share your thoughts on this. Show them that, you know, we need to do better. This is where we need to allot the money. And so,
But like I said, there's not enough oversight to make. Any
well,
of
there's
them
not.
do it,
And
and there should be. That
Yeah.
money was allocated for a reason, and
Yeah.
yeah, they should be held accountable and have to show what they did with that money and be judged on that.
exactly.
Yeah.
When
And they
the-
compared that to years ago, decades ago, when they had the cigarette thing, where the cigarette companies had to pay
Right.
so much money, and
Right.
like they banned like commercials on television, and they did other things too. That was okay, but in hindsight, it seemed to be a lot better than what they're doing now. So I'm telling the people who are listening, who are here last week tonight with John Oliver, it was the May 12th. That was this past Friday, the May 12th show. And you'd be surprised how educated you would get seeing how the opioid money is getting wasted. Absolutely wasted.
And
it's
did
a
you say
damn
that's
shame.
on HBO?
That's what he said.
Yeah, HBO, yeah. You can look it up, you get rerun, you can look it up
May 12th.
and look. If you have HBO, just look up last week tonight with John Oliver, and they'll have different shows come up, and you can like watch any show you want. And this was this past Friday, and I was stunned to see how the money is being wasted, not
Oh,
used
yeah.
to.
But just
What
like,
it's
hey,
used
look at all
for.
the stimulus money it was given to people out to enrich their lives. People were just squandering that money around, just blowing that money on
senseless shit.
things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And all
actors
all
and
that
rich
Sandy
people
money.
getting money.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, why does an actor or a millionaire need a check for a few $1,000s? It's absolutely asinine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there's no, like you said, no oversight, no policing of the thing. And I know, like, where I am, right around the corner from Kensington Avenue, a lot of those checks were going to those people. They were just getting higher and higher and higher.
Oh,
And dying and dying and dying.
That's dying. Yep.
going out
Yeah.
buying silly stuff with it and all. I mean, my son works in retail and he's in the music industry, and they were coming into his place and just blowing these checks on audio equipment and this and that. Nothing to enrich their lives or make like it was like found money. I got my stimmy,
Yeah.
my stimmy money.
Yeah.
And
All right. Go ahead.
Barb says the God thing make me think he wasn't looking out for me. And it's funny because I was just going to share that point too. A lot of people said if there was a God, I wouldn't be going through this. I wouldn't be an addict.
People always do that. They lose a loved one, then they blame it on God.
And
like,
God,
why-
yeah.
I mean,
And-
we're always looking
Yeah.
to blame stuff on someone else and make someone else the heavy in our lives
Right.
and the reason for our shortcomings. And that's that when it's our own doing that leads us down
Yeah.
this path. And but it's easier just to try to put the blame on somebody and blame someone else. It makes us feel better about ourselves. I mean, because, we're not proud of ourselves when we're going through this alone. It just makes it easier for us to live with ourselves.
Yeah.
And
Like what's going through with my cousin, with his wife suffering from cancer,
right.
and he's got to raise 2 young kids, and he helped me. He said, like I say, he saved my life. He got me into a rehab and helped get me in a recovery house. And he did all these wonderful things for me. There's this guy give it, anything to help anybody, and he's going through this stuff now.
Right.
And some people give me the God works in mysterious ways. Well, that's friggin' not too, I will not exactly say mysterious, but it kind of pissed me off. It's like, it doesn't even matter with the God thing. It's like, how could a person who's been so good,
Yeah.
who helped me so much, have to go through all this suffering? And here I am, You know, I'm a drunk. You know, I got kicked out of my house. You know, I went through all the crap to get where I am now. But, you know, I'm okay. I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. There's nothing, you know. Why do I deserve to have, you know, to have the good end of life, you know, and have this poor person go through the crap he's going through? Yeah, sorry about the rant there, but it's just,
Yeah,
you know.
well deserved. That's
You're
good.
good. I mean, and we all go through that. We all go through that, you know, guessing game. Why?
Yeah,
Why me? Why me?
Yeah.
yeah,
If
You know?
everybody was
Yeah.
doing great all the time, we would have no consequences to fear or anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be pain and suffering always in the world, I guess. And
Yeah, of course,
doesn't
yeah.
pick and choose what. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know. These are things, you know, I don't hear that you got to talk to a man of the cloth or something that explains it better to you. You know, like, you know, anybody that's, you know, is religious out there. That's when you got to go to your priest, talk to him, and run that by him. Because you think that's the first time they ever heard that? No,
Right.
they hear it a lot,
Right.
and let them explain it, you know, to you. No, because you know it doesn't make sense. You know, you do everything right. You know, you believe in God, you pray to God. Why are all these things happening to such a nice man, or why are these things happening to me? What did I? You know what I mean?
And why are the good dying so young? Like, it's just.
Yeah.
But Billy Joel wrote the song.
But that, you know, we're always going to second guess everything that happens in our lives. And I truly believe there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why we're going through what we're going through. And, you know, it's a learning thing for us to figure out how to get out of it and
And we
how
have
to
to
stay
think like that, or
strong.
we'll just implode. We'll just
Yeah.
implode trying to figure it out. You know, it's-
Yeah. You're right. It is a learning thing. It's an experience thing. And
Exactly.
yeah, you can't lean too far one way or the other. It's just what it is. And one has to deal with it. It might not be, you know, not all ups, you know, it's all ups and downs in life. But sometimes, you know, you got to string it down. So you know, the anger and the hate comes in, and the questioning of everything else in life
Of
happens
everything.
too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You're always second guessing. And even when it's something simple, like not a big deal, but you're still, you know, second guessing how you're going to proceed with something. And,
Yeah.
you know, and if you know, go the way that you're thinking you might want to go, you pay that consequence when it's, you know, you pretty much know better, but still it ends up going the wrong way. And,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, why they lay me off from work? You know, when that fat bastard that was
there's
late
always
all the time,
all
always
sick.
sandbag on. They lay me off, man. I was like, true. You know what I mean? You beat yourself up, and this
Yeah. It's how you react to it
life
too.
isn't
You know
always
what?
fair, man.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
All
It's
all right. I'm going to go. Maybe somebody else wants to call.
Well, Larry,
And
thank you. It's
thanks
always,
for.
okay. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. You know that.
Yes.
You're always welcome to call.
Yeah. Maybe I'll show up in a week or two too,
There you
and be
go.
live and in person.
You're always welcome.
Make
the
it-
door is always open.
Okay.
Make it 3 weeks because on the 31st
Yeah.
and the 7th we won't be here. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be there with my little book and my kidney stones.
there you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Make a necklace out of them.
That's right. Stay on the mend. I keep forgetting you're like on the mend there, and
Yeah.
you're going in again.
Take care. Say prayers
Yeah.
for Larry that he gets all these kidney stones and can make a really nice necklace for himself.
Yeah. We're sending money. Okay. See you later.
Take
Bye.
care,
See
Larry.
you, buddy. Thanks for calling.
So yeah, it's it's a hard thing to really try to figure out why things happen. What's the reason? What is
Like, you know, I quit drinking for 7 years, and I'm getting friggin' kidney stones. I mean, why me?
Yep. But it is. It's
I'm
you're
not drinking
always
energy drinks, any of that shit. Why am I keep getting? I mean, like,
Right. You're always second guessing yourself. You're always trying to figure out why. Why me? Why me? And why not that asshole that deserved that, you know? And we'll never know. It's a lesson, and I guess we'll figure out down the line what it was called, what caused it, and
And
why
everybody
we're
got a
doing it.
saying to get you through it, like Lori says, works in mysterious ways, and one door opens when another one closes. We come up with all these phrases to make ourselves feel better about our downfalls. You
We
know,
do.
We have to. You got to come up with something to cheer you up. I mean,
Right. So
Okay.
who's out there? Who's out there listening that can?
Eric's out there. He's way out.
Eric's.
He's way out there. Sometimes he's beyond my scope.
They're more like boulders, Larry says.
Boulders. He's got kidney boulders.
He's got big ones.
Kidney boulders.
Yeah. So
I may make a lamp out of them.
yeah.
Get the glue
Yeah.
gun. That'd be
Just don't stick your finger with it when you pull it when they bring them out.
Larry.
Yep. It sucks. I know. Been there, done that. I've been there a few
He
times.
passed one himself and broke the bathroom window.
But bump. Broke the porcelain toilet.
Took a chip out of the tub.
But I feel for you, Larry. I know.
Yeah,
I
Lori
know.
battles them, but not quite that large, but she's had her battles with them, man.
Yeah, I had a quite large one. It was the size of barley, and it felt like it was the size of a bowling ball. It hurt, and it brought me to my knees. They hurt. They're painful, and from my understanding, it's worse on a man than it is in a woman. So good luck there. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. Drink lemon water. I hear that helps keep the barbs down on them. But if you are new here, you're in the background just hanging out, and you have a way of commenting, feel free to comment.
We're not medical doctors, but we play one on this show,
Yeah.
talking about kidney stones
pretend to be
and
on
other
this
medical, chronic medical conditions. Next week we'll be talking about hemorrhoids.
Yeah. And if anybody knows of any events coming up, please share with us because, the education and all of this is the most important thing that we can share. It really, truly is the most important way to, help the people out there that are lost and don't know where they're going or how to get there. So please feel free to share that because it's the one thing. He's got them too. Poor Larry's falling apart.
Got my first one when I was 17 years old. I was bodybuilding. What a mistake. And I had to explain to my mother I was having a problem. The most embarrassing thing of my life. She's, that's a hemorrhoid.
It's just a hemorrhoid.
Man.
Just a bunch of grapes
17.
down there.
I was trying to bodybuild with one of them things. Oh my God, it was terrible. I was doing squats.
And
It's since went away, thank God.
yeah, and I just want to put out there on June 22nd from 2 to 5 p.m. Ezra's Hope is doing a fundraiser. It's for Laughs for Recovery. They will be holding that at the Raymore and Flanagan's at 9 Cobalt Boulevard East,
That's Cabot.
Langhorne 19047. $25 a ticket. The money will help families that have lost somebody or has somebody struggling that the family needs help with. Bingo night is tonight, so if you're not here, I know where you're at, and I hope that bingo night goes well for them. I hope they make a lot of money to help a lot of families. Dara was Tuesday. Unfortunately, I could not make it out there. Tuesday, May 21st, 9 a.m., Mental Health Cut-a-thon. Let's see. It is a public event. The proceeds will go to Penn Foundation and St. Luke's University Health Network. Just reading some of the things that are coming up so that people are aware of it and can get out there and, show support or, maybe give in some way.
Barb's answered a question. He's opened her pool. Should I tell my friends? Well, I guess that's no beer. I don't know. That's
They're your friends, number one. Do they know that you're in recovery? Maybe let them know that there would please refrain from bringing beer. I know that you're coming over to help us, but the grandkids will be here, and I really don't want drinking in front of the grandkids anymore. They're getting older, what have you. Whatever you feel will help with that, because I know that can be a trigger for you in early recovery. And these here's the trigger. Every year you open the pool, what do? You have friends come over, they help, you drink, you have a barbecue, so like I said the other day, I wanted a cigarette. That's trigger. That's 23 years later, and those triggers happen.
being so early on in recovery, it's very risky for you, But we can't tell you what's right, wrong, or whatever.
But you have every right as the person there, letting them know, listen, I would appreciate it if we don't have alcohol during this, because I'll have coffee, tea, soda, water, whatever to drink, but we're just not going to do alcoholic beverages. And if they start asking why, what's the problem? You always used to drink.
Right, yeah.
Just say, well, it's something that I don't want to be doing in front of my grandchildren. It's something that I don't want to be doing, in front of my kids. I want
It's a
to.
lifestyle change I'm doing, and I appreciate if you would be understanding with me on that. I don't want to ruin anybody's good time. We're gonna have great food, this, that. But can we just do this year, just like this.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. Because it's uncomfortable for you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the party pooper and this, that, or cause everybody not to want to come.
Right.
It's like having a dry wedding.
Right.
You know what I mean? People get. Yeah,
And
I ain't going to that.
Some people ain't gonna go, and that
I ain't giving them
that's
a gift and all that. Dry wedding.
yeah. I'm gonna give you $100 a plate plus a gift, and
$100 a plate. That's cheap.
yeah.
Cheap. She's been out of circulation for a while.
Eric says early in recovery, it is up to you to set your respect level, and it's when you're going to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And that is one of the biggest things we learn in our early recovery is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's your trigger. Then you have to say no, because you don't want to go back to that.
I mean, I don't know if your
Situation.
friends are aware of your situation or whatever. Just be upfront. Say, hey, listen, I'm trying to quit drinking, and you know, I'm trying to feel better and make positive changes in my life. You know, for my grandchildren. Be upfront. You know, that. I said, you know, I don't want to be a party pooper or a Debbie Downer. You know, but these are some lifestyle changes I had to make for my own health.
And I know
Can't
that,
argue with that.
right, and I know if there's beer, I'm gonna, you know, fall back into that, you know. So I'd
Well, I don't know if
appreciate
she
it.
wants to share all that with them or not. I don't know what they know, what they don't
Right. But, you know, you also have to have that comeback, like, but the health, you know, the lifestyle change is definitely the one way to go. You know,
know. We
that's,
can lie and say, listen, I'm on a new medication. I can't be drinking and I can't be tempted.
right, the temptation.
And they're
will-
not going to ask you your medical problem is. It's none of their damn business. They know it. So
Right. But that
you can
ain't-
lie.
you know. But, you know, again, it's being, you know, handling an uncomfortable situation because this is early recovery. This is what it is. And, you know your strength and you already see that it's going to be an issue for you. So you have to make the right choice for yourself. You've come too far and you don't want to.
And it being such a regular yearly celebrated event, it makes it more likely to be a trigger. You know,
Exactly.
it's not just a a picnic. It's something you do every year when you open your pool. You know, and we associate things with certain acts and functions. You know, it's like
Right. And that, you know, that's the best way you can do it. That's the best way you can approach that. Just trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable is so important in this, you know, recovery process. Eric says, and remember that includes respecting yourself. You know, that's so important, and it's hard. It's hard. How do you say that? You know, because you're gonna have those people that are gonna be, oh, what are you an alcoholic? Did you stop drinking? Like, you know, how do you respond to that? You know, are you strong enough to respond to that? Right. And that's what I know I told them that, but I hope they respect that. And that's the thing. If you've already told them, then, you know, be upfront and honest with them. Listen, you know, I'm still in early recovery and, you know, it's going to be a trigger for me. I would really, truly appreciate you not bringing alcohol, not drinking alcohol in my presence, because it is something that I struggle with. And if they're your friends, they're going to come, they're going to help you open your pool, they're going to have a barbecue with you, whatever it is that you normally would do, and you'll have a good time doing it. And, you know, reach out to somebody when you're there and you're struggling. You know, let them know that you're having a rough time and, you know, you need to talk to somebody. I'll be right back. You know, call me, call Eric, call whoever it is that you need to call. Call the person that you've been talking to if you're still talking with them. You know, just to help you get through that minute, because
you know, then eventually down the road you'll have more sober friends, and you'll start to enjoy their company, and you'll see a whole different change. Like, wow, I can still have fun
right,
without alcohol. You know, like, you know, it's like our dances. You know, we got up to 200 people. It's like a beef and beer without the beer,
exactly.
and everybody's having a blast. And you know, 20 years ago, you invited me to that. I go, yeah, I got to read to the blind nuns that night. No thanks. I'm doing something, you know.
Right.
But I've learned to have fun without alcohol myself, and I'm not an alcoholic. I can drink. I just choose not to. I very rarely do anymore because the last 8 years I've been hanging out with sober people, and it's a lifestyle change for me. I've learned to enjoy life without having to use alcohol to have fun. It's weird. I mean, how we just associate everything around alcohol.
Yes.
I really do. I mean,
And Eric says, expect to be let down so your defenses are up. Not everybody's going to want to come when it's a holiday weekend and there's no alcohol.
yeah.
But then you know who your real friends are. You know who you can count on when you're in a situation, and just hold that thought. If they're your true friend, they're going to be respectful of your boundaries on who you have around you, until you're strong enough. I know that still to this day there's people that have just really backed away, and it's hard because there was just so much change in that time period. School was ended, everybody started getting busy, and I don't see a lot of those people anymore. And I see more people that are in recovery than I do that are still active. And I'm not saying they're alcoholics or drug addicts or anything, that they just drink. And
The normies.
the normies. So, if they are your true friends, they will be there to support you and help you through it. And that's all I can say. Just, make amazing food, and for those that may not show up, they're the ones losing, not you. So always remember that you come first in this. This is the most important time for you, is what's best and right for you. So there's a grand opening for the Cedar Creek Steps to Recovery Behavioral Health's primary mental health residential facility. That is on,
That's a mouthful.
yes, Thursday, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that is located in, why did that just do that? 1460 Meeting House Row, Warminster, PA 18974. Check that out. That is also on my page. Prevention Day, that passed. So, and that's it for announcements. And again, on Wednesday nights, every other Wednesday is our family support group. We were there this Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the times have changed. It's from 6:30 to 8, and we have the room till 8:30. So, just a reminder there. It is a great group. It is a little different now because we have it open to the family members that want to visit their loved one on that following Saturday. So, we start out with them, let them know what we're about, and some of them are coming back to be part of the support group and to get some additional education. Some of them are just there to see their loved one.
Yeah, they have to come to the meeting in order to qualify to visit their loved one
Yeah.
in treatment.
Yes. So, there's that. We have 10 minutes left, guys. If anybody has anything that they want to share that they need help with, please, pop it in the comments, give us a call. We're here, we're listening, and we will share, what we have learned over the years of, getting ourselves educated. And
But before I forget, don't forget to look for that video on the page, the link to that video.
yes,
It's well worth it. Barb, I think you would enjoy the video. It's a wealth of knowledge from this really nice doctor. She's young, she's smart, and she's talking on this other woman's podcast, and it's a wealth of knowledge.
yes. And that is what alcohol does to your body with Sarah Wakeman. It is episode 155, I believe. So I would really check that out. Again, education is our best tool.
And like I watch a lot of videos, and just some of them just really resonate with me, and and these are the ones I recommend that I really enjoyed and got some out of it.
And highly suggest you get your people in your row to call if you need to, Barb, because it is a holiday weekend coming up, and
That's
it's
next
the
week.
start of next week. It's the start of
Summer.
summer, where things start
Lots of
to
outdoor
trigger.
merriment take place.
Yeah, so just be there with as much help as you can. Eric says, personally, I think you have some good tools in your toolbox already, Barb. You should be fine, girl. And that's it, wake up and think about those tools that are in that toolbox, and get them out and use them, because it's
And don't be ashamed or embarrassed in front of your friends. I mean, it's what it is. There's 50 gazillion people in the same boat you are in this world. It's not
you're not alone
limited.
in this.
You're not alone in this journey. Trust me.
You're not.
It's amazing. I mean, how many people are in recovery? And I see it all the time. It just the most weird places. I mean, people. Well, yeah, I'm in recovery because I bring it up what I do as much as I can. And 9 out of 10 times, people say, "Well, yeah, I'm in recovery," or or my son has a problem, or this. It's like it's hard to find a family that's not affected by addiction in some way. And like one of our old facilitators of the meeting used to say, you shake that family tree hard enough, you'd be surprised what falls out of them.
Yes, and you can go right on to my page. It's in the feed there, and it's what, 45 minutes. You said
I think so.
something
I
like
don't
that.
You have
And
to watch it all at once.
yeah, it's hard for me because the kids are, there, and it's not always easy for me to just get that 45 minutes, because if I'm not with the kids, I'm doing something. So and your family is one of your biggest supports, and I wish they would get the education part of it so they can get as strong as you are becoming with your
And things would make more sense to them if they should one day seek that education. And because I thought I understood addiction growing up in a household of it. It wasn't until I really started getting the education and going to things and reading. I realized I really didn't know that much accurate facts about addiction. Mostly everything I knew was flawed. I mean, it really was a turnaround for me. And that's why to this day I can't get angry with people that don't understand it, because why would you understand it if you've never been exposed to it and had to understand it? You know what I mean? It's not something people do just for everyday reading. We don't do this until it falls right in our lap, and we have to. So, I don't get angry with people that don't believe the same way I do in things. It's the human race. Life goes on.
I'm reading a thing here about the cicada invasion this year. Don't be afraid of them. If you add some really nice, some of your favorite vegetables,
They add a little
they
crunch.
make a great salad.
They add a little crunch to it, yeah.
Yeah. And we appreciate that you pop in and you hang out with us because, this is what it's about. It's, just keeping connected with that.
And about networking and keeping connected and keeping it fresh. And don't become complacent and embrace your recovery.
Yep.
Like Eric, I mean, he tunes in. He's got many years under his belt, but he does it, in the hopes of helping other people, and it keeps it real for him too. I assume, in a sense, just get so complacent in it. There's nothing wrong with refreshing in your mind where you've been, and that you're helping other people, trying to help other people get to where you are today. About giving back. So we're about there.
Yep. So if there's nothing that you guys need to discuss or talk about, or you're doing well, we will go ahead and bid a farewell till next Friday the 30th. Let me see. Let me double check. No, so we will be back here next Friday from 9 to 10:30. Eric has shared a topic with us, and I will check that out and see what I can find out and share that topic with the group. I knew that Peppy had that thing that he wanted to talk about tonight, so we will share that.
Did she call me Peppy?
Peppy,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna have to roll the tape.
I'm eating Twizzlers.
Licorice.
So.
I'm gonna say we've been together almost 40 years. She's never called me Peppy.
And that's really bad because they're not even my Twizzlers. They were bought for my grandchildren. And I brought the bag out here and I've been eating them. So, everybody have a great week. If you need help and you need support, give me a call, 267-737-8031. We are here. We are listening. If you can't talk, you can always text. And I'll get back to you if the line is busy. So, everybody, good night.
Have a great night. And remember, recovery works if you work it.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody.
Good night, guys. Be safe.